Hi guys, and welcome back to the Rare Record Room, and a big hello to any new viewers. This is where I share with you some of the records I've collected over the last 40 years or so. These range from 1950s rock and roll right up to the Britpop era of the 1990s. They're mostly United Kingdom pressings on all manner of labels, including the big mainstream companies like EMI, RCA and Decca, through to the smaller collectible subsidiaries such as Vertigo, DRAM, Blue Horizon, Immediate and EMI's Harvest and Apple labels. I hope you'll find these episodes interesting and informative. If that's the case, why not give us a like and take a look at some of my other record collecting videos. Thank you. Hello again, and thank you for joining me. Today we're going back to the swinging London R&B scene in the 1960s, focusing on the classic power pop of the East End mod darlings and one of my favourite acts, the Small Faces. In particular, I shall be looking at the second long player from this influential rock group, having already covered their eponymous debut album in a previous video which you may wish to familiarise yourself with. Their second album, titled From the Beginning, was a compilation and was their final 60s LP to be released on the Decca Records label. Firstly, a little background to this rather odd LP. The Small Faces had signed for Decca Records in 1965 under the management of Don Arden and had a string of high energy mod singles, much in the vein of songs by their main contemporaries The Who. These recordings had a harder edge than the current beat and pop sound, and the band generated a cult audience in clubs, dance halls and coffee bars, which they further developed through relentless touring in the UK and across Europe, and regular appearances on primetime youth-orientated music shows like ITV's Friday night programme Ready Steady Go, and the BBC's flagship chart show Top of the Pops, which then aired on a Thursday evening. From 1965 to early 1967, the Small Faces made 6 UK charting singles for Decca, including 4 top 10 hits and a number 1 single, All or Nothing. Their Decca studio LP, called Small Faces, was also a huge success, peaking at number 3 in the album charts. Despite this success, they endured a strained relationship with their record label and management over remuneration, and they broke away in January 1967, signing for the mod and blues-focused Immediate Records, a newly formed label which perfectly captured the zeitgeist and was run by the 21-year-old former Rolling Stones manager Andrew Oldham. Immediate's impressive roster of acts included Chris Farlow, P.P. Arnold and The Nice, and briefly also John Mayall with Eric Clapton, Rod Stewart, The Turtles, Nico, Sam Cooke and Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. Following their acrimonious split with the band, Decca, partly in order to sabotage a new LP from the band on Immediate, but also to capitalise on their existing recordings, cobbled together and released an album of mixed material from the Small Faces. Titled From the Beginning, this included the big hit singles such as Sha La La La-Lee, My Mind's Eye and All or Nothing, alongside previously unissued songs which were apparently demos. These included early versions of My Way of Giving and Tell Me Have You Ever Seen Me, which was subsequently re-recorded and released on the debut Immediate album. Several tracks were covers, including Del Shannon's Runaway and Smokey Robinson's You Really Got a Hold on Me, which was also recorded by the Beatles for their second studio LP in 1963. 2 of the earliest tracks on this compilation feature the original band member Jimmy Winston, who was replaced by Mac McLagen in late 1965. These are the songs Baby Don't You Do It and What You Gonna Do About It, which was the group's debut 45. The LP was released on the 2nd of June 1967, just 3 weeks before the Small Faces' Immediate album of fresh material. From the Beginning reached number 17 in the UK NME album chart, and this record to some extent succeeded in hampering sales of the perceived rival new LP from the band, which also stalled outside the top 10. Bear in mind that the group's previous studio album on Decca debuted at number 3, a position it held for 7 weeks. From the Beginning was issued in mono only on the familiar red Decca Company label, with text printed in silver, issued under the catalogue number LK4879. It states Made in England, the Decca Record Company Limited at 12 o'clock. Labels on copies pressed until 1969 feature the Decca logo in large bold type without a box surrounding it, together with the full frequency range recording or FFRR listening motif. The rim text is an all rights reserved notice. Earliest copies featured the ridged or deep groove label with a pressing ring clearly identified around 15mm from the outer edge of the label. Copies manufactured from late 1967 to late 1969 were issued on smooth red labels of the same type, design and layout, but without a pressing ring. The LP cover is the front laminated non-flipback style with a white border on the front containing the catalogue number at the top left corner. The large mono wording appears on the rear in white at the top right, with the catalogue number printed below. Covers were printed by Clout and Baker Limited, and the glossy finish is called Clarifoil, laminated by British Celanese Limited. Unlike most Decca LPs of this period, the rear cover slick is printed in full colour rather than black and white. The group photo is the lineup with Mac McLagen, and the photos used on this cover are from the exact same session as the photos used on their first LP. The inner sleeve is a company die-cut paper design, printed with the standard handling and playing instructions in grey ink. At the foot, the patent details are shown, together with a Made in England notice. These come with a clear polythene lining bag. Many copies will be well played and enthusiastically handled, played at parties, that sort of thing, meaning decent original copies are desirable and valuable. In the current edition of the Rare Record Price Guide, examples of the first pressing in mint condition are listed at £280. And that just about brings to an end my brief history run-through look at Small Faces Decca LP from the beginning. That's your lot for this episode from the Rare Record Room. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did like the video, please make sure you subscribe to the channel to see more and to receive notifications for any new uploads. Thanks for watching. See you next time.